They call it Cranston's finest. But after more than a decade of greatness, after more than 10 years of excellence, it's not just Cranston's finest. It's not just Rhode Island's finest. We're outside of the 02921, the 02920. Cranston's finest has expanded. And now, we're the world's finest, with 10 of the world's finest teams. As great as all of us are, some teams are better than others, and in 2019, with only a few weeks left in the season, we have our first look at how the playoffs might turn out. Now, here is the Jake Finan playoff preview. Number 10. Team hashtag JRoll swag. Despite snapping a 10-game losing streak, Team hashtag JRoll swag is all but mathematically eliminated at this point, with the second hardest remaining strength of schedule and with only one win in 9 games against his final 6 opponents. John needs at least 3 wins to avoid the title of having the least wins in modern Cranston's finest history. Number 9. Playing for the 6th seed. With 8 losses in his last 9 games, Totten is on the verge of a second consecutive season without playoff fantasy baseball. And with the league's hardest remaining strength of schedule remaining, including games against the top 2 teams in the league, there might not be another win left on the schedule. Number 8. The Jennifer Anistons. 4 consecutive losses dropped Kutu out of the playoff picture, but with the second easiest remaining schedule, there's still plenty of time for a course correction and a return to the playoffs following last year's disappointing campaign. While every game is important down the stretch when you have little margin for error, the final game of the season versus Grand Slam is a potential head-to-head tiebreaker that could decide the difference between playoff baseball and an early exit. As of right now, the Jennifer Anistons have between a 35 and a 40% chance of making the playoffs. Number 7. The Leela Star Fan Club. So far, Corv has not had the success he experienced during his first 2 seasons. This has more to do with his opponents than the points he's put on the board. A difficult remaining schedule and a 2-7 head-to-head record against remaining opponents gives the fan club an uphill climb to qualify for the playoffs for the 3rd consecutive season. Working in their favor is the fact that this squad has scored the 2nd most points in the league this season, so some positive regression is likely to occur. It's hard to bet against a team with the peripherals that the fan club has. Number 6 is a former dynasty. Last year, the talk after a slow start was that Salk had the worst team in the league. After another slow start this year, he was still doubted. Arguably the hottest team in the league after going 0-5 to begin the year, there's still work to be done to secure a playoff spot come September. Currently behind Grand Slam and Acuna Moncada in total points, a strong finish is required to lock up one of the final playoff spots. But you know what they say about doubting an underdog.
aggressive. I know we meant all good intentions. So pull me
Number 5. Acuna Moncada. Looking for his 4th playoff appearance in the last 5 years, Moncada has stumbled following a 6-2 start to the season, finding himself right in the middle as he looks for more consistent performances in time for the most important stretch of the regular season. It won't be easy with the 3rd hardest remaining schedule and a .500 head-to-head record against his final 6 opponents. Currently holding the total points tiebreaker over Grand Slam and Issaforma Dynasty, may prove critical to this team's playoff aspirations.
So why don't you just meet me in the middle? Oh, take a step back for a minute into the kitchen floors and
Number 4. Grand Slam. After narrowly missing out on the playoffs with a loss on the last day of the season last year, Grand Slam, who might be leaving the league after this season, is in control of their own destiny during the stretch run of the marathon that is the fantasy baseball season. Mike will face back-to-back crucial matchups against Acuna Moncada and Issaforma Dynasty in order to avoid losing the head-to-head tiebreakers and put some breathing room between his squad and the 5 teams vying for the last 3 playoff spots. All that is left on the line for this team is their first playoff appearance since 2015. Right now, he has a 65% chance of getting in. Number 3. Last year. In what potentially could be his last season in the league, Ryan Fernandez is poised to make the playoffs behind the 3rd highest scoring offense in the league, as well as one of the best projected records that this league has seen in 2019. With the easiest remaining strength of schedule for Mr. Fernandez and a 6-3 record against his last 6 opponents, last year's in a strong position to make the playoffs, though potentially important tiebreaker matchups against Acuna Moncada and Issaforma Dynasty await late this season. The real question about this team is, will Fernandez be in the league in 2020? Number 2. Shetty Blazers. Better Ryan, the league's newest member, has marched to an impressive record behind an unorthodox strategy of starting multiple closers. The league leader in points scored will play 3 of his final 6 games against teams right behind him in the hunt for the second first-round bye. But a 7-2 record against remaining opponents bodes well for the stretch run. With a strong finish, Ryan could apply pressure to the current leader and set up a blockbuster finale versus the Lakers, who have split the first 2 matchups so far this season.
Mr. B6000, oh, Mr. B6000, oh.
Number 1. Penis Lickers. You can't say anything else except for kid's a beast. That's what I would say, that's what you would say, and a blistering 9-game win streak has said the same thing, landing Penis Lickers into pole position in the hunt for the league's best record. With a 7-2 record against his final 6 opponents, Austin seems locked in for a first-round bye and a 4th consecutive trip to the fantasy baseball playoffs. Who ultimately lands the number 1 overall seed may come down to the final game of the season, a winner-take-all matchup against the Shetty Blazers, who have split the season series so far. but Austin is a beast.
Mr. B6000. Oh, Mr. Beast. Oh.
6 weeks left. It's on.